We've all been following these trends of being nonchalant, of not caring enough to be involved in certain situations, to not get into a relationship because we don't feel like it, we're not ready, or to suppress these emotions because it's cringe, right? But at the end of the day, all that we're doing is neglecting passion. And this is very harmful for you and for your existence. It's not about emotional numbness at the end of the day, it's about how you are rejecting yourself. When you were born and the way that you've been loved in your early childhood, it's always been with passion. You were made with passion. You have existed with passion. Everything around you is involving passion at some point, right? The way that you have a lot of brands in your hands, products that were made by passionate people, science, art, and all of this is actually like a survival mechanism because you wouldn't be here without passion in the first place. That's the first point that I want to make. You are literally have this boost of dopamine because of your passions, because of what makes you feel alive and what wants you to just go ahead and do things, right? It boosts also your focus and your long-term motivation because you're following your heart. Neglecting it actually means that you're fighting against your own neurobiology, your mind, what's in your head, and you're living in Barry Saver mode, which is not what we want. Your life was made to be experienced, to be felt, fully felt. Your body was meant to be used, and your mind also, your heart, everything. Why are you so scared of using yourself? You're going to die anyways, you know? That's an interesting point. The second point that I want to make is about passion, is how you recognize who you truly are. So, you have actually built this identity that you have and you're authentic yourself because of the passion that you have towards certain things in your life, like music, the passion that you feel towards science, towards your art, towards learning new things, you know, your passion to be alive, basically. So, without this, you're going to start living on default, you know, living with what everyone else says, with what is right to do, or what you're meant to be doing right now in this certain situation. The only thing that comes to my mind is about relationships and friendships, social interactions. You're always supposed to be following a certain path in order to maintain this image, right? Be something or do the right thing. But it doesn't make sense when we talk about this because it's not something true at the end of the day. Feelings are not real, so why are you trying to fit into like an expected outcome? It is because it's a society norm. It's built by society, Expected your expectations towards the outcome of things are built by society at the end of the day. So why do you want to fit in that if you don't fit into the norm anyways? Like, try to think about that deeply. Why are you doing these things? Why are you numbing yourself? The third point that I want to make is passion makes your life coherent. And it is because people that have passion not necessarily have this like the easiest lives, right? Because you're trying to do things from your deep thoughts and your deep wantings, right? It would be easy to just be like, yeah, I want to grow up, go to school, and then study whatever and work, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life. No, you have passions. You want to achieve certain things. You have your hobbies. You want to be the best at something, but also try to develop this on the side and learn how to do these activities, your interests. So they have the people that choose to have passion in their lives have a narrative, are the owners of their own lives, basically, because they are choosing to wanting things so much that they are going to achieve them. And a reason for their actual suffering, because not suffering is not being alive. You suffer from the moment that you're born. You need to realize that. So suffering is inevitable, but give it a reason in order for it to make sense and to be worth it. So a thread that makes everything feel like it leads somewhere. So you have passion towards your things. You suffer because you are not quite understanding what's going on, but you work on it and it leads you somewhere. Where are you going if you don't have passion, right? Even if it means in social interactions, like suffering because you don't know how things ended up the way that you didn't want them to end up, if you had this so much effort, but it makes sense. It can only make sense. You never lose when you have passion in things because you gave it all and you still have more to give. So the fourth point that I have is that passion is a built-in bullshit detector. You have this passion in yourself, you won't be taken for granted, okay? Your passion in your heart, in your mind, is going to be see-through. People are going to notice that you are passionate about everything, and it's going to be so obvious because you're not going to be losing interest. First of all, you won't be losing interest. You won't be tolerating things from people, misbehaviors, or someone treating you badly, or not enough, right? You won't be tolerating bad treatment in relationships or friendships or situationships. You won't even be tolerating situationships because you're passionate, right? You want things fully or nothing. And if you choose to feel something, you will go all the way through. And that is very identifiable. And people are not going to understand how you do it, but you know how you do it. And you will understand when someone is like just bullshitting you. And you won't also be able to have routines that just kill your spirit. You'll feel it right away. So you will no longer remember how it feels to want something deeply. Imagine that. Imagine not feeling things to the core, right? I remember one time I made a poll in Instagram for my friends to answer, and it was like feeling everything or not feeling anything at all. And it was like 70% not feeling anything at all. Why? Why would you choose that? Answer down below. What would you choose? Feeling everything or not feeling anything at all? Like, I can see why people choose one or the other, but personally, I have a lot of feelings and I would be nothing without them. The next point is passion is how you make meaning, not how you find it. Okay? Meaning is not discovered, it's made through what you are interested in, to be honest, and what you invest your time and effort on. So, if you're passionate about something, that thing that you're passionate about is going to make you you. It's going to give you meaning. But you are doing that. You are the one that's putting the effort and the work and the energy towards that thing, right? That thing would be nothing without your attention. Think about that. And I'm not talking about things, I'm talking about people too. I'm talking about situations. If you make it like a big thing, it's going to be a big thing in your life. If you go to play tennis every single Saturday and you try to learn something new every single Saturday, it's going to be a big thing for you. You're going to learn a lot and you're going to be like and more capable when you are put in that position again, right? Let's say your friends want to go play tennis, you're going to be the best at it, and it's because of your passion, it's because you care. Tennis would be nothing for you if you didn't care, right? For me, for example, I there was a time that I played video games, but it was like really small, like an hour a day, probably, when I was in quarantine. But aside from that, I haven't touched game in my phone or anything ever since. And the only game that I play is Sudoku, and isn't even a game, like a video game. I just like playing things from time to time, but it makes me feel like it's a waste of time, so I'm not passionate about it. But there's people that is really passionate about it and put their all effort in it and make that their jobs, right? They are video gamers, they are gamers, they stream and everything. That's what the passion makes, right? You have passion and then you have an outcome of that passion. Make sense? So it is very concerning how risky it is to lose your passion towards your things or your goals. Because, first of all, you're going to become addicted to distractions, right? You're going to become addicted to feeling a certain way through things. Like, if you're dumped, you're going to be like, no, I don't feel anything, like this person didn't want me, that's it. No, cry. Where's your heart? Your heart got broken. Like, don't act like you didn't just got your heart broken. And that's the most dangerous part, right? They're following trends. People that leave passion behind are going to be very vulnerable to certain manipulation, especially from the internet, because they're always going to be seeking ways to that are expected to respond to things. And that means that when passion goes missing, you're going to replace it with scrolling, shopping, hookups, gossip, fantasy, substances, work. You're going to be a workaholic. And all because you're avoiding the truth. One simple truth, and is that you don't feel alive. And also neglecting passion's roots rots your self-esteem. So this makes sense because your brain assumes you don't deserve some people or you don't deserve to be feeling certain ways. And it is because you have this expectancy of your feelings, of the outcome of your ideas, or how you should be living life. But life does not come with a manual. Life, you don't have a guide to go through life, you just live. Why not doing it with passion? Why not doing and feeling it all? Feeling it to your bones, basically. Because you're going to get the best out of it if you do it that way. So I highly suggest you doing this. And the danger isn't that you'll fail. The danger is that you'll wake up one day realizing you build a life around everything except what makes you feel alive. Keep that in mind. Love you.